Hello people and welcome to 2018, and look what I've got. These are two programmable calculators. Did you know that when I was young, my very first computer was a programmable calculator, and it had only 512 bytes of memory. And that's very few bytes. Actually, if you would type out the text of this movie and where one letter is stored in 1 byte, it would probably not fit in this calculator's memory. And in that time, computers were very new, and so, well, actually not very new, but they were newish, and so they were expensive. So the most popular home computer at that time was called the Commodore 64. It had 64,000 bytes of memory, and I really wanted that, but it cost 1,000 guilders. We had guilders, not euros at that time. At 1,000 guilders, that was a lot of money. So my parents could not really afford it. I read all books in the library about computers, and there was one book about programmable calculators, and actually this shop in one bookstore in Assen sold calculators, and they had some of these programmable calculators as well. And they were still expensive, but I dared to ask the cheapest one of them as a birthday present to my parents. But my father thought, well, he was just in a spending mood, I think, because he thought, well, let's buy the most expensive one. So I got one with 512 bytes of memory, and I was very happy with it. And I wrote many programs with it, which is amazing, because you would think that nothing fits in 512 bytes. So, and recently I became a little bit more interested in calculators again, and just a little bit nostalgic feeling, I think, but also because, well, I am currently writing a programming language, and this programming language goes back to many concepts of early programming, and so I got a little bit interested in simple programming language like you had in the early days. So like BASIC is one of them. This calculator runs BASIC. It's a Sharp, it's from the 1980s. It's a really nice calculator. This one is a little bit more modern, it's from the 90s. So at that time you did have good computers, and I also had one computer at that time, so I never had anything like this. Also never had anything like this, by the way, because this is far more luxurious than the calculator I had. This one has like 8,000 bytes of memory, so that's a lot. And what was I saying? Yes, so I'm now currently interested in these programming languages from the past, and it was really interesting to see how it felt programming on these things after so many years of programming languages getting bigger and more complicated, and how easy is it to make a program for a calculator like this, which you can buy. This one was actually bought by my brother-in-law for very few euros, like 5 or something, and he was kindly enough to give it to me, and I'm really pleased by it because I find this a really interesting machine as well, although it's a little bit of a later date, but it's such a, already the screen is very big and it's such a interesting precursor of the modern mobile phones. It's like years and years before that, but the screen is, it reminds me of Palm Pilots, which came later and which are direct precursors of the mobile phones we have today. So yes, it was really interesting to see, can I program this and what will I notice about it, and I will make a movie next week about showing you a game on this one. This one is not that suited to make games for because, well, as you can see, the display is a very long rectangle, so that's not a great display for a game. But this one has a square screen, so that makes it a great game, a great game screen, and also these buttons here are really nice. As a child, the first thing I would do on a microcomputer to test it is make a little man that walks around the screen, because I was very interested in games. So here you can see I did the same thing on this calculator. Actually, I did just left to right. That's something you can actually make for this calculator as well. You can see it here. As you can see, it works really nice with the big keys. It's a little bit slow because these calculators are not that fast, but it's a starting point for if you want to build a game, and I hope to show you a game very soon. The code of this little program to scroll a man on the screen is just 254 bytes. It looks longer, but it's stored very efficiently in memory. So that's it for today, people, and more to follow soon. Also, I expect to have my programming language ready not very soon, but I think I will have it ready enough to make some movies about it very soon, and then I can make some interesting movies about that, which will be really fun, because I think my programming language is quite unique and more interesting to people who don't like tech at all, don't want to be a nerd, but still would like to try out programming in any way. And so I'm really looking forward to making these movies. So, see you soon. Till next week, I hope, or till the next time I can better say. Bye!